This is another video brought to you by the Ichiban Productions. Like, comment, subscribe.
So welcome everyone, happy days are here again. We're back with another tech review. This time we're looking at the Universal Arcade Stick F500 Elite by Mayflash. Now I don't know about you, trying to find a fight stick that works with everything is real tough. And basically, from reading all the research online, the only one that I think can do it is the Mayflash. Now these come in three different types. You've got an F101, I think it is. Then there's a 300, which is the model down from this, and then the 500. They also come in two variants. The F300 and the F500 come in elite versions. What's the difference between the normal and the elite? Well, the elite ones have the upgraded Sanwa buttons and joystick, which, you know, if you know anything about arcade sticks, Sanwa, it's like the ultimate version. Basically, way better than a standard one, way more responsive. If you're at competition level, you're going to need a Sanwa stick. So I've gone for the elite. I've gone all in. I need to figure out, is it worth it? Is it worth your money? Let's find out. Watching that last clip back, my goodness, there was a lot of all elite quotes and references there. Completely unintentional, I assure you. So I went for the F500. It says it's compatible with the PlayStation 4, 3, Xbox. You can read all that. But fundamentally, what did I want it for? I wanted it to work with the PlayStation 5 and the Series X. Now, this will work with that. However, you're going to need a little bit of a workaround. First thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to update the firmware on this. Again, I'm going to do that. But then you're also going to need the Mayflash MAGIC-S PRO adapter, which I have reviewed previously, which should appear at the top in a second. So I do have that. With the combination of that and the pass-through controller, this bad boy should work on everything. But anyway, I'll show you that working shortly. That's enough of the talking. Let's take a look at the box so we can actually get this bad boy out. So in front of the box, you've got the ultimate sort of picture of what you're getting. Now, the other difference between the F500 and F300, F500 has got its plexi front, so you could put a nice little pattern pictured behind it if that's the sort of thing you're looking for, whereas the F300 doesn't do that. On the side of the box, what have we got? We got, again, what it is, keeps it nice and simple, what it's compatible with. And on the other side, what else have we got? We got that again. And I'm going to pause the video, I'm going to flip it on the back so you can see exactly what's on the back. Now, I really like the back of the box here. I think it really does go all out to tell you everything it possibly can about the device, which makes a change from most things. You got the consoles down the side of what it's compatible with, including the mini consoles. We got ourselves a USB cable. Now that's got a little hideaway port, which I think is really, really good. And the bottom, it's got the adapters for headphone input, which again is something special for, I think, for the F500. But it also has a vibrating wrist strap connector. My goodness, that sounds like I'm going to absolutely need to get that. We've also got the different buttons there, the controller that can plug in via USB for the pass-through, which is really good. And I love some of this tech, you know, some of this text down here. Have a read at that. I mean, honestly, no cheap plastic toy, two-piece metal panel. It has got some serious weight to it, I'll give it that. I know the F500 is much heavier than the F300 as well. Beautiful, strong acrylic top plate for easy customization. I mean, they're absolutely selling it. And I got that, my serial number covered up down there so you don't steal it from me. Anyway, pause it, readings for prisoners. I'm absolutely pumped to open it up and see this product face to face. Boom, cheeky cut. I have flipped one, reversed it, ready to open on YouTube. It's way too heavy, so I'm going to try and do a good job just from here. And there we go. Let's see what we've got. First things first, I think I see an empty bag for some reason. That's not good. I wonder what was in there. Next, what have we got here? We got ourselves USB-C to USB-A adapter. That's pretty good. That must be for the pass-through controller. Very, very nice. I like that. Nice little addition. Next, we've got some washers and some screws. Maybe that's for the bottom feet. Maybe, I don't know. I'll have to look at that in a sec. And what have we got here? So that must be a joypad, a joystick adapter of some kind. Ooh, I'm starting to wonder what I would have let myself in for here. I'm wondering if there's some instructions, because this might be the first video ever that I might actually have to read the instructions properly. But I do see one more cable. Let's see if I can grab it. And there we go. What have we got? We got ourselves USB-A to micro USB. Is that a power supply maybe? Well, that's all the the cables and stuff out the way. Let's get out the joystick and hopefully there's some instructions. Boom, another cheeky cut. I have cheated the unboxing here. It was really heavy to lift, actually. I was quite surprised. It's got some serious weight to it. You know, this is not a cheap piece of tut. So we got ourselves our instructions here. Let's have a look. Introductions. Want to say thank you. Features. Oh my goodness. Look at all this. Pause it and read it if you like. I'm going to have a closer look. We got ourselves our setup here. I suppose that's important if you don't know where the buttons are. More button mappings. And what have we got on the back? Additional features. I'm going to need to read this properly. I don't think I'm going to be able to just make this up as I go along. But I do think updating the software is going to be an absolute must. Having a closer read of these instructions, you definitely need to read these to get these to work properly, because they're going to work different ways. There's a toggle switch at the top, which you're going to need to toggle to get to the right input for the right console. Now, what it seems to do is use a workaround where, for example, the PlayStation 4, you turn it to game mode, which has got the little controller toggle. Then what you need to do is you need to plug a PlayStation 4 controller in at the top through the USB, and then connect that straight to the console. So this is looking like it's how it's going to work. Some of them you don't need to, so like PlayStation 3, you don't need to plug your controller, and Switch, you don't need to plug your controller. But for Xbox, it's the same deal. Turn it to game mode, plug in an Xbox One controller, and then plug that into the console to get it working. Anyway, I'm going to show you very carefully how to get it working on the PlayStation 5 and the Series X, because that's what I'm most interested in. And I'll probably show you for the Switch as well. And I think this last documentation will tell you how to get it to work on the PlayStation 5. There are 3 cheeky ways of doing this. You can read it for yourself. But basically, it's a similar sort of idea. Connect it to the console, but then you're going to use that Mayflash adapter, and then it'll just work by magic. The other adapter is you can use this Magic Boots converter. I've never heard of that. Never heard of that. Or a third-party PlayStation 4 controller. It all sounds really complex, but I bet it's easy when it's working. And then the compatibility with the Xbox Series X, the same deal again there. You're just going to need to connect the Fight Stick up to the console, and then plug in your Xbox controller via USB, and it'll magically work. I guess those are the PlayStation 4 third-party devices that will work. My goodness, that is well complex, but I bet it's totally worth it. So let's take a closer look at the stick itself. It is really heavy. On the front, we got ourselves our Sanwa joystick. You can listen out. Super clicky. It feels super premium. And we got ourselves the buttons as well. Can you hear them? Again, great response. You can tell these are premium buttons. And then you've got your option button at the top, which is there. And then you've got your extra switches and stuff, which is at the top. Turbo button. Let's bring it closer so you can see. So you've got a turbo button. A T-pad. No idea what that is. Select back, share, view. Nice. And a home button for the PlayStation, which is pretty good. On the side, nothing on the side here. Down here, we've got the adapters that we're talking about, the vibrating wrist strap. I mean, I just googled that on Amazon, couldn't find it. Mute button and a headphone button, which is nice. And then on the top, we've got ourselves a USB-A port for those controller pass-through. I think that's vitally important from the looks of it. And then here, we've got ourselves the cable, which is tucked away. The 300, it doesn't have this nice little hideaway port, which I think is a shame because you don't want the cable just hanging all over the place. On the bottom, here we go, we can put the extra rubber feet in if we want to give it extra grip. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to be using it on this this stool or on my lap, so it's not going to be slipping and sliding. That's a lot of talking. What I'm going to need to do now is I'm going to need to update it, set it all up, give it a go. So I'm going to pause the video here. I'll be right back, and I'm going to give you a detailed breakdown of how to get this to work on these consoles, and I'm going to show you it in action. Stick around. And I'm back. Like I said, I'll be back. My goodness, it's been a few weeks, and I can honestly say I have truly fallen in love with the arcade stick F500 Elite. This is an absolutely superb piece of technology. It has blown away my expectations. So what I need to do now is basically show you how do you connect it up to your consoles. So let's start with the Switch. Just to clarify, before I did anything, what I did do is I updated the firmware on this on the Mayflash website. All you got to do is identify the fight stick you've got, follow the instructions. It's very similar to the Mayflash adapter if you've seen my previous videos. So it should be right, straightforward, no issues. Then what you need to do is you're going to need to take out the USB cable, which is in that lovely side compartment there. I think that's superb. It's exclusive to the F500. I also like it's got a little cutout. Can you see that on the side? To stop the cable getting crushed when you close the compartment. They really have thought about anything on this one. Stage 2, what you need to do is you need to use the converter that came with the fight stick, which turns the USB-A into a USB-C. Then all we do is you plug that USB-C in the bottom of the Switch, which looks a little bit like this. I did find it particularly stiff for a USB-C. Hopefully that's not damaging the pins that are in there. But anyway, once it's all connected up, it literally works as you would expect. So you can see at the top the mode's gone red. That means it's in switch mode. So if you check the bottom of the switch currently, it's reading the input from the switch controls itself. As soon as you start using the joystick, oh yeah, it starts moving over, and there we go. Can we see it works absolutely flawlessly? Now what I would say, however, one little confusing setup here is that the letters and the symbols on here do not correspond to the same sort of layout as on here. So for example, X on here is not X on the switch itself, but that kind of makes sense. It's in the same layout as the switch. So for example, that one there is B, that's A, that's X, and that's Y, of course. Start button's at the top. The home button there works like the home button would normally. Yeah, it functions perfectly. I mean, the buttons are super responsive. I'll talk a little bit more about that when we swap to the PS5 and the Series X. But hopefully you can see exactly as expected. So that one bricked up. So the X button works as Y. Brought up the channel list. Yeah, it works as you'd expect. Really good. So if you're looking for a fight stick for the Switch, yes, this works. Next we got for the PlayStation 5. So I plugged it directly into the front USB A port. And as you can see there, it's got the red light. It's not working. No response. That's because to get this to work on a PlayStation 5, you're going to have to do one of those 3 options I mentioned earlier. Me personally, I had this Mayflash adapter. I mean, I'll post a review to it up here. It's superb. I really, really like it. Now, this will enable this bad boy to work with the PlayStation 5. So what you need to do is you need to unbox this, and you need to insert it into the USB-A port at the top. Let me show you. Here we go. This is exactly what I mean. So plug it in. Boom. Blue light. Oh wow, it suddenly magically started working. Amazing. Let me prove it to you. Let me move the camera around. So to prove it, here we go. Fight stick in. Can we see the top? Yeah, look, as we move it, it works absolutely fine. We've got the PlayStation button there. PlayStation, yeah, gone for the PlayStation thing. Back it goes. We've got the start button, of course, which you know, does what exactly is expected to do. And yeah, it works an absolute treat. Honestly, with fighting games, it is absolutely superb. I'm loving using it with a bit of Guilty Gear. I don't claim to be a fighting game master. However, it does really help improve your game, in my opinion. I can't do roll combos on a D-pad on a PlayStation 5 controller. It just doesn't work. I feel like I am actually infinitely better with the fight stick. I mean, that's debatable, I suspect. I'll show you a bit of me playing a bit of Mortal Kombat 11 in a bit. But let's show you how do we get this working with a Series X. One more thing before we swap to the Series X. Occasionally this does have a connectivity problem in terms of being recognised initially. Now to solve it, all you've got to do is reset your PlayStation 5. So if for some reason it's not responsive when you plug it in to start with, restart your PlayStation 5, wait for it to get to where it says press the PlayStation symbol, and then plug it in, and it works a treat. So if in doubt, restart the console, solves it 100% of the time. But for me, 99% of the time, you plug it in straight away and it works no problems. But I have, you know, I'm honest with you guys, I have had it happen a couple of times, so all you do, restart that console. So onto the Xbox Series X and S and all that. What you do basically is the exact same as PlayStation 5. You plug the USB cable into the console. It's showing a pink light there. Again, it's not responsive. That's because in the top USB port there, you've got an adapter, and you've got to basically plug in an Xbox controller. So I'm using the official Xbox controller cable that came with this Elite controller. You plug it in, it vibrates. You know it's all good because that light starts flashing. I think it charges it as well, which is pretty cool. And then all of a sudden, yes, there we go. It works 100%. So let me prove it to you. Let me change that camera angle. So there we go. Cheeky cut. To prove it works, here we go. We've got the old... There's got to be a better way of doing this. It's really heavy. But to show it works, yeah, joystick works all the way around. Buttons work as expected, as labelled. It is amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quickie match. A cheeky match of Mortal Kombat 11 to show you the stick in action and to prove that it works. And then what we're going to do, sum it up, final review, but a star rating on it. I think you know what it's going to be. One other thing I wanted to confirm, so one of the buttons that it doesn't appear on that the fight stick is clicking the left and right stick button down. However, the controller that's plugged in at the top is still active even when the joystick is. So if you desperately need those extra buttons that aren't working, the right stick down, left stick down, you can just grab the controller and do them yourself. Right, so here we go. I am going to show you the joystick and MK11 happening all at once. My goodness, I don't know how this is going to turn out. Hopefully it's not too shaky, but let's give it a go. Let's try and opponent type, computer. Let's go for... He's gone medium. He's gone all in. Oh, whoa, this is... If you could see this setup, you'd be laughing. But dual joy tripods. You got like the mic everywhere. How is this gonna go? Let's read. This guy's been ages since I played Mortal Kombat, but oh, look at him cheating. There we go. We got a bit of action. I often think it's quite interesting how fighting games are so different depending on... Oh, look at him cheating, honestly. It'd help if I even was holding the joystick correctly. Here we go. Ooh, round 1, Scorpion. Round 2. Oh, look at him blocking it like a cheat. But don't worry, I'm showing absolutely no technique and skill here. But I'm hopefully showing you that it is realistic. Ah, him glitching. He's crab walking up the level. Shows that mashing the buttons will work on medium. Ooh, X-ray. Brutality. Ichiban wins. So there we go. Hopefully this is going to turn out to be some interesting footage. Let's see how I can edit together so it looks interesting. But there you go. 100% works. I love this joystick, so it's time to put a star rating on it. If you've stuck with me this far, a can of Coke to you. This has been one hell of a review, but I totally think this bad boy deserves some serious time and attention because it is absolutely amazing. So let's get to it. Let's get to the star rating. We're going to give this about 5 stars out of 5 stars. It is an absolutely amazing piece of equipment. I am blown away by it. I know the price tag of, I think it was £113 or whatever it was, sounds quite high and a bit excessive, but for a quality fight stick like this, it's absolutely worth it. The Sanwa buttons and the joystick are ultra responsive. I know I didn't do it justice in my Mortal Kombat gameplay, but honestly, it really does make a difference. And what I was saying before, I got too carried away being beaten up by Sub-Zero. It's amazing how many different fighting games have different techniques and styles, but this really does help out, I think. As well as that, I love the form factor. It is quite a heavy piece of equipment. However, that's better because it's not going to be slipping and sliding everywhere. The side compartment is perfect for hiding away that cable. It gives you all the gimmicks you need. The only extra addition you are going to have to consider is you are going to need that Mayflash adapter if you want it on the PlayStation 5. But I challenge you to go out there and find a better fight stick for even a similar sort of money that works on the Switch, the Xbox, the PC, and of course the PlayStation. This is an all-rounder. It's a must-buy if you're a fight fan, and if you're interested in getting a fight stick, I wouldn't skimp necessarily and go for, you know, just something that's just for the PlayStation or just for the Xbox. Get this, it works with everything. In terms of the 300 or whatever it is and the other models, I can't honestly comment on those because I haven't had them physically, so it'd be wrong for me to say this one's far superior. But from what I've read online, the build quality on this is absolutely superb. And for me, you know, if you're going to be spending 70, 80 quid on a fight stick, you might as well chuck the little bit extra in and get the ultimate version. Mayflash, you've done a fantastic job. Can of Coke for you. With that in mind, if you enjoyed the video or watched any of my videos and enjoyed them at all, please press the subscribe button. It'll appear up there. It means the absolute world to me that people are engaging with my content, and you know, a little press of a button means nothing to you. It's a couple of seconds, but for me, it means the absolute world. Honestly, my dream is to one day get 1,000 subscribers, and you know, I'll do it. It's going slow, but you know, I'll stick with it, and we'll get there eventually. If you enjoyed the video, give it a cheeky thumbs up. It means more people can see it and make an informed decision and realise this is a beast of a fight stick and is worth your money. If you've got any comments, post them in the comment section below, or questions that is. I think I've tried to cover everything. I mean, if you've got any questions particularly, I will always get back to you or reply to each and every comment. I love engaging with the community. If you've got time to spend on me, I got time to spend on you. With that in mind, you know what I'm going to say. Look after yourselves, take care of the people around you, and most importantly, stay out of trouble.